Why don't you
Yeah.
introduce
All right.
yourself? Because I'm going to post you all over the social media as the top five agents of Ottawa, Ontario. So you might as well just drop your name and your info. That would be fantastic.
Sure. So I'm James Angus. I'm Ottawa real estate professional. I've been in the business for about 10 years. I was with a team for many of those years, and then I went out on my own. I've grown from like I went to Angle and Volkers with Chris Lasherity, who's a friend of yours as well, and I started on my own, which was a big step for me. And felt, when I think we talked about this, but it felt like I was really nervous and worried. And usually when that's happening, that's the right decision. I don't
Right.
know if you think the same way. Like
I do. I
it's
agree.
really scary, but yeah. And then it sort of has grown a little bit each year. And then I saw obviously when you spoke to us, and I was interested to get the feeling that you are showing people, that it's all out there. You just have to say the right things and bring the right energy.
Right.
And yeah, so I approached Adam, and here we are.
Right. So a little background. At the hockey game, you passed me a phone and I saw in it that you created an affirmation, and I was like, wow, and you were pretty detailed in it. And I was pretty impressed because you do have your vision and your goal and the direction you're going. It's just as I got the text message from this morning, I think you're just hitting a little call it the bump in the path along the journey, and I think we should start there. I think maybe
Okay.
let's go off that script and let's just talk about the direction that we could get you from where you are now to the point that you want to be. So yeah, why
Yeah,
don't
for
you
sure.
yeah go with your
Oh,
question.
well, it's so because of my affirmation is I'm so happy and grateful that I've earned $1 million Canadian that I get to keep, and
Right.
it's on my phone. But at this point, I feel like I'm behind schedule, even though you've told me don't worry about the how. It's a matter of you know just getting to that point at the end of the year. So it's a long year, right? And as you said, it's just my question is how do you get over the like this point where it's kind of like, well, nothing's really happening yet, and even though I'm doing my what I'm supposed to be doing, working out and keeping a good energy and being a good father and all those good things. Um, how do you approach that bump in the road?
So this is kind of the hardest part, right? When you feel like you should be somewhere and you're not, and you feel like you should be much more ahead, but you're feeling like you're lacking. But this is when we need to realize that when you set out on that goal or that direction, you have that vision in your head, there's going to be that time where there's going to be a lot of quiet moments where you're going to start getting inside your mind and start asking questions, and you're going to start doubting your own self, and you're going to say, well, did I set my goals too high? Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right things? Am I going in the right direction? Now, this is a standard like thoughts that go through everybody's mind who set it any kind of great goals and started to proceed towards them. But what you got to realize is that you've set it, you've set the direction, and you're very confident to get there, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting to where you want to go. It's just at this point when you're going through this call it quiet point is that the analogy I always give is you set out in the direction, the GPS as you know it. You get into your car and you set out, but you just hit traffic, and now you're stuck in traffic, and you're looking around and you're getting frustrated and you're getting call it angry, and the anxiety builds up, and I'm going to get there, and then but you know that that traffic is going to last a short period of time, but you're always going to get to that final destination of where you're going. But you're doing the right things by, because I see you have a great presence on social media. You're talking great. You're doing the right things by keeping the flow of energy and the vibration back towards you. That doesn't mean that you're not on the right path. It doesn't mean that you're not going to get to where you're going. It's just those moments that it feels slow and quiet. You have to stay in the mindset that you are going to reach your goals. And when you set such a large goal, regardless of the amount of money or whatever direction you want to go, there are always going to be quiet times, and call it February is a quiet month. But that doesn't mean March won't double or be past of what you're thinking that can or will happen. It's just that we're stuck in this whole frame of mind that everything should go the way I think it should go. But the universe always has a different plan for you. And that plan you wish you could know and be like, oh, this is how it's meant to be, and this is what the universe is telling me or the direction it's going. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So let me ask you the question. How do you know you're not on the right path? How do you know that you're not where you're supposed to be?
I don't know that. So that's a good point. It's I'm almost like I think if we started thinking the other way, like started got out of our own way, then just let it happen. But I'm more of a person that had challenges with that. I was always kind of like I'm very goal oriented as you are, and I never thought about it's happening the way it's happening just because the universe is definitely out there doing it for us. I always thought that I had to grind to get there. I come from like pretty pretty I was a small background, I would say, like like maybe not some free thinkers and people that were beat down a bit for a lot of years, but then I want to change that generational situation, right? I just want to kind of make my girls realize that in anything is possible, and look, I did it, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where my goal came from. Was that my family's not the richest family and never was, so that was just sort of a thing that, and again, it's not all about the money, but it's certainly about the goal and the fact that I can have freedom and all those things that come along with it, right?
Sure. So I'm a believer in the spiritual part, but also goals and vision, like the whole. But and I also believe that in this lifetime, as big as the materialistic stuff that you would like, you completely you can completely have it. It's completely up to you if you want it or not. I don't believe that just because you're set out, you shouldn't be wanting material things. I believe that you should have material things if you want to have it. That's completely yours, and that's up to you who you are. Now, everybody's material thing is different and how they want it. And so your goal is set, and you're on this path, and you're on the right direction, and you're going towards it. So if I gave you that magic wand today, and I told you March, which I really do feel that March is going to be a great month for you, is is that your expectation of what you're thinking in your mind, it may even double it for yourself in March. Like at the end of March, you're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. Like, and things can turn overnight. I've seen it happen, and obviously, you've seen it happen because you've been in the business much longer than me. Like things could change in a second. So, but
Mhm.
I can tell you this that um, the goals that you set out to achieve and the whole vision that you have with the family and everything, like that is the best start because now you've planted that whole picture, that whole vision, and now it just allow it to execute and allow things to go the way it's supposed to. Because we carry this is was my issue at the beginning, um, and everybody I speak to have the same. I shouldn't say the same issue. Is just how we feel things need to go a certain way in order for us to be successful. But if we really truly understood how the universe has a greater picture for us, and the success will come in many ways other than the way that we think it should happen, we'd be much calmer, less, our vibration would be much higher, and we'd be much, I should say, much happier people. I could honestly say that. So this is not easy to do, by the way. As soon as we learn how to let go and allow things to present itself when it needs to, we prepare ourselves for the opportunity that's presented in front of us. Now, I did say at one point that let's switch the goals from dollars to people.